In 1928, the Minnesota Valley Canning Company created the Jolly Green Giant to help advertise their new brand of peas. Today, Green Giant's parent company spent $100 million on advertising in digital, print, and national TV. And that's just one company. In North America alone, the total amount of money spent on advertising alone is expected to hit $254 billion by 2022. Now that is a giant amount.
Ho, ho, ho. Green Giant.
That's money spent on Facebook ads, Google ads, TV commercials, sports sponsorships, radio clips, podcast ads, billboards alongside the road, and even airplane advertising. Whew. So, are the ads working? Are people even noticing the ads? That's the question we're hoping to answer on this episode of The Loyalty Loop. A famous 19th century retailer named John Wanamaker once said, "Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. Trouble is, I don't know which half." Well, in 2019, US advertisers spent more than $60 billion just on internet display ads. So how much of this advertising budget was put to good use? Can we actually answer Wanamaker's question? Well, we'll get to that in a second. First, I want you to think about how many ads you see on a daily basis. Some experts estimate we're exposed to 4,000 to 10,000 ads every single day, and eventually your brain starts to tune things out. It's like selective hearing when you don't want to take out the trash.
Take out the trash!
When we look at a website, we tend to ignore certain parts of the page. They even have a term for this. It's called banner blindness. This is people's tendency to ignore page elements they perceive to be ads. It doesn't matter if it's an ad or not. If it seems like an ad, people won't pay attention to it. Now, this nifty image uses a technique called heat mapping to show where people focus their attention in yellow or orange. Notice that the ads at the top or the sides of the page hardly get noticed. Banner blindness! Then there's my favorite example. It's the story of Ted. Have you ever been watching, the television news or something, and all of a sudden something goes wrong, like maybe the mics aren't working, or the weatherman's screen goes wonky, or there's just nothing on at all? Now, people in the biz call this dead air, and it usually occurs when there's some sort of glitch. In the world of internet display ads, the equivalent to dead air would be a blank ad. Like this. So a guy named Ted decided to team up with a few of his friends and see how a blank ad would perform against a regular ad. They wanted to see how much banner clicking was true engagement and how much was just clicking. So they created a blank ad like this. Actually, they created 6 of them. And they tested them against other ads to see how many clicks each category got. So, what do you think? Which one got more clicks? Turns out, the blank ad had a click-through rate that was 60% better than the average Facebook ad. 60%! Then, compared to a branding display ad, the blank ad had a click-through rate that was double. Double! Now, maybe you're asking, hey, why should I trust these yahoos? Well, Ted McConnell is the Executive VP at the Advertising Research Foundation. His partners included an astrophysicist from an online research firm, a measurement expert from the Advertising Research Foundation, and an ad platform wizard from an ad buying and media optimization agency. Seems like a smart team. They concluded that 44% of all banner ad clicks are mistakes. They're actually mistakes. People aren't noticing the ads, they're just clicking them by accident. I've done that 1,000,000 times. So, remember Wanamaker's question? Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. Trouble is, I don't know which half. Remember earlier when I said that companies have spent $60 billion on display ads? Want to know how many web users noticed these ads? Only 14%. That means that $51.6 billion was effectively wasted. So, To answer our question, does advertising actually work? Are people actually seeing our ads? Well, the answer is sometimes. And did we answer Wanamaker's question? Well, roughly half of the advertising for banner ads doesn't work. But how do we know which banner ads will attract attention and which won't? But this is just part of the story. Next week, we'll look at part 2 of this 4-part series. I'll explain why some forms of advertising are like handing people wads of cash when they walk into your store. I'll see you next week in my loyalty loop. In the meantime, I'm gonna watch some more news bloopers.
Not so pale. Today, snow is crippling much of the Washington lowlands.
Mangudu. Once it's turned on, the sign will spell out Delicatessen.
Welcome back to Fox 2 News at 9 a.m. Time once again to get you caught up on your news headlines. For that, the hamburger. It's your birthday. I'll let it pass.